And finally for us tonight, could it be that those 60s hippies had a point? Among other items they ingested to see the world differently were magic mushrooms. Up to that time, they'd been used in religious ritual for thousands of years. Finally, some scientists at a renowned North American university decided to put the legendary powers of the homely little fungus to the test. And tonight, with no more than the usual fanfare, we bring you the results. CTV's Peter Murphy reports on whether magic mushrooms really do open a doorway to the divine.
In the psychedelic 60s, they tripped out on hallucinogenic drugs, searching for mystical and spiritual experiences. Today, scientists join the search, studying the spiritual effects of psilocybin, an illegal hallucinogen made from mushrooms.
This is a class of compounds, the classical hallucinogens, for which research has been in the deep freeze for about 40 years.
In the 60s, they called it the magic mushroom, used by some Native Americans for religious rituals, and promoted by utopian drug guru Timothy Leary, who urged a generation to tune in and drop out. Psilocybin affects the brain. Researchers were hoping it would have therapeutic value.
There might be some application with these drugs for individuals who have anxiety or depression.
After taking psilocybin, 2/3 of the volunteers in the Johns Hopkins study had what they called a religious experience. They claimed changed their lives for the better.
Just because we can describe the neurophysiology of these kinds of experience says nothing about the existence or non-existence of higher power or God.
While some of the volunteers in the study said the drug convinced them of the existence of God, religious leaders were skeptical of its lasting effect.
So I'm very, very suspicious about whether these experiences are genuinely spiritual.
At least 1/3 of the volunteers experienced a bad trip. Critics worry about its influence on young people.
I mean, it's a very vulnerable age that, you don't want them to be experimenting with it.
Hallucinogens, while popular in the 60s, have not caught on with today's young. While discovering the magic mushroom may leave some with a mystical experience, researchers insist it is no God pill, no trip to spirituality. Peter Murphy, CTV News, Toronto.